Hello, everyone. Welcome in. We have decided to try something a little bit different that takes a look at Hearthstone cards and what they would look like if they were actually turned into recipes.
Hello, my name is Wash. I'm Wash in the Wind on most things. I have been a cook, caterer, chef, and culinary consultant in some variety for the last 15, 20-ish years. And Dragon Rider contacted me and wanted to try turning some Hearthstone cards into plates of food, or I guess not to be too spoilery, but in this case, glasses of beverage.
We pretty recently had a new expansion drop for Hearthstone with Murder at Castle Nathria. And, who wouldn't know Murder at Castle Nathria without good old Sire Denathrius himself?
Right? Good old Daddy D.
Yeah. Love him or hate him, he's there.
Yeah, there's no getting around him.
Exactly. So yeah, we took this card. It was like, okay, I had this idea of like, he's holding this goblet of some like frothy looking drink. What can we do with that? And I will just preface this. You came up with two different versions. One that is an adult beverage that does have alcohol in it, and one which you start with, I believe, that is non-alcoholic. So if you are looking for either variation, they're both here. So we definitely didn't want to only do an alcoholic version. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Absolutely. Yeah, I'd love to. Absolutely. So yeah, I started with the non-alcoholic version. So if alcohol was something that you're not into, something you avoid, you can just watch the recipe for the non-alcoholic version. If you are into cocktails and that kind of stuff, did a version of it that has some base spirit and replaces some of kind of standard ingredients for the mocktail version with some bitters and some cherry liqueur. Both of them were absolutely delicious. Honestly, if I were just gonna like sip on something for a while, I would probably just drink the non-alcoholic version like all day. It's super like refreshing and delicious. The alcoholic version is also really delicious, but it's definitely that like dangerous kind of like, I know there's alcohol in here, but I can just barely detect it. If there's somebody who's like not super into drinking but wants to give it a try, this would be a good drink for them. It's a reasonably potent drink, but it's not like really like pop you in the face alcohol blasty. It's really mellow and it just kind of blends well together. For me, especially if I'm making a drink, but anytime I'm coming up with a dish or a cocktail or anything like that, balance is always really important. You don't want anything to be too sweet or too sour or too bitter or whatever. So that was something I tried very hard to do in this drink, especially balancing the sweet and the sour. Anima. It runs everything in the Shadowlands. Let's see if we can run on it. So we're going to start with the juice of half a lime.
Can you just hand squeeze it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I have the fun little toy because I have a lot of fun little kitchen toys. We're going to do an ounce of that. Real quick, simple syrup is just 2 parts plain old white sugar, 1 part water. So like a cup of sugar and half a cup of water. You just put it in a pot on the stove, turn it on like medium heat, and just as soon as all the sugar dissolves, cut the heat, let it cool down. And I keep it in these cute little IKEA bottles, but you can keep it in like a mason jar or a Tupperware or whatever. Ooh, I backed it up a little. And this is Tart cherry juice. You can get it at mostly any supermarket. I did. We're going to do 2 ounces of that. If you can get fresh cherry juice, get fresh cherry juice.
Now, is that different from like just maraschino cherries?
Yes. And then Anima is always described as being very kind of light and frothy. And to make it light and frothy, we're going to add an egg. Specifically, we're going to add an egg white. All right, real quick science adjacent chemistry time. Very often egg whites are added to cocktails. If you buy grocery store eggs in the United States, they're pasteurized, they're fine. You can put an egg white in a cocktail or a mocktail and not really have any health concerns. Obviously, that's not true for everyone. If you have a reason not to eat raw eggs, if you're immunocompromised, pregnant, whatever, don't do the raw egg. It'll still be a delicious drink without it. It just won't be as fizzy. But the egg has proteins in it that I'm going to shake it in a sec. When it shakes, it breaks down those proteins, and that causes the drink to hold a lot of extra air as it's poured into the glass. In fact, you'll see it holds how much. You'll see how much air it holds in a sec.
And can people use just egg white instead of, like an egg white from a carton as well?
Yeah, if you get like carton egg whites,
proteins that will make a really beautiful, nice froth in our drink. So what we're going to do first is dry shake it before we add the ice. And you want to give it a really good shake. And make sure you're holding the shaker nice and tight. And now we'll get some ice, which we want to keep obviously as cold as possible. I've got these nice big, large cubes. So we'll put one in, and then we'll take the other one and crack it.
Is there any recommended amount of ice that you put in?
There we go.
So I'm actually going to shout out one of my favorite cocktail YouTube channels, Greg at How to Drink. This technique that I'm using is one that he uses. That he got from a gentleman, I might get this name wrong. I want to say it was Dave Arnold, who's a big cocktail guy who did like a test at a cocktail convention and figured out that one big cube and some crushed ice was like the perfect combination to chill, dilute, and aerate the drink. If you can just throw whatever ice cubes you have in your freezer. I have this stuff, so I'm using it, but by no means is any of this required. If you have an ice maker in your fridge, the ice that comes out of that is 110% totally fine to use.
So just maybe a handful or handful and a half.
Yeah. You don't you want to leave enough room for it to slosh around really good. Like I wouldn't fill the small tin more than halfway total.
Okay.
You want there to be plenty of room. If you pack it too tight, it dilutes too much. And it just kind of gets watery and blah. I don't have a better word for it.
That's perfect.
And we'll add our beverage.
I was definitely about to say cocktail there.
You want to shake until it is extremely cold.
I'm talking like uncomfortable to hold cold.
And then we'll serve it in a champagne flute.
So I'm about to make a mistake.
We're going to strain it to keep the ice out of the glass.
See, I love this because it's a learning experience as well.
Yeah, I mean, this is the first time I had made this drink. Or I should say, this is the first time I had made this drink with the egg
It's
white
too
in
thick.
it.
All right, we'll do this a different way.
So I'm going to use an old bartender's trick of straining between the shaker. If you have a shaker like this, you just kind of twist it until it's barely open, and then it'll drip out enough.
There we go.
And
then we'll top it off with some.
Right, and I think we were talking about this prior to recording, where you tried to use that strainer and it was too thick. Right, so
so it's a combination of the drink being thicker than I expected, and I mean I've had that strainer for a long time. It's not in great shape. I should have used, and it's a little finer than it should have been. I didn't use like a Hawthorne strainer because it doesn't work for this kind of drink. The Hawthorne strainer is the the technical term for the thing that goes on top of the tin with the
Okay.
with the spring on it, the thing that looks like the guy ready to fight you.
Yes.
I-
Now,
I couldn't find mine, and it disappeared when I moved, and I didn't realize I couldn't find it until like literally I was setting up to do this. Yeah, it happens.
Okay.
But yeah, so much of cooking is just kind of adapting and rolling with the punches.
right. I was gonna say, like, I don't even have the actual, like, you know, tins and stuff to do
Mhm.
that. So I would probably just use some other cups, or could you even do this in a Tupperware thing with like a lid and shake it up and then
Yes,
kind of do the
100%.
same strategy?
If you had a Tupperware with a lid that seals really well, that would work. A mason jar, or even like if you've got like, I'm the kind of person who, like, when I buy spaghetti sauce at the grocery store, I save the jar because who knows, you might need it. Like, anything that seals up that you can shake around will work. If you're shaking it around in glass, don't put the ice in it.
Good tip. Okay.
High velocity ice will absolutely break glass.
Very good to know. We don't want
Yeah.
that happening.
Yeah. But yeah, if you even like, I don't have one handy, but even if you just got like one of those like square Tupperwares, yeah, cap it closed, hold it tight, shake it around, you're good to go.
And you're pretty much just making sure that the ice is not coming out in that, correct? Is that
Yeah, because the ice will take up
Okay.
space in the glass that we want for the drink and the soda water, and the
Okay.
and because of how this drink is set up, especially we want space for the foam.
Gotcha. Okay.
Soda water.
Love
And if I
that.
did this right,
I chickened out
there
here.
we go.
It is probable that this drink would come up over the rim
I
of
think
the
the
glass.
garnish for this is
but I chickened out.
probably a nice thin lime wheel. A Luxardo cherry. And we'll lay that right across the top.
That's why I chickened out.
Hang out for a sec. I'll show you how to make an alcoholic version.
So, Luxardo cherries, because this is a regular question that comes up. Luxardo cherries are essentially maraschino cherries, but fancy. If you wanted to use a maraschino cherry in this, absolutely use a maraschino cherry in this if that's what you have. Yeah, they're just kind of like, they're less processed, fewer chemicals, twice or three times the price cocktail cherries. But yeah. And you could garnish this with any number of things. This is just the garnish that I chose.
Yeah. Or if you didn't have anything, it's not
Exactly.
required as well.
No,
But
not at all.
you know, let's say you're doing a Hearthstone, little fireside gathering, and you want to make some of these and you want to fancy them up a little bit. Absolutely do that.
Exactly.
If you're just making it for yourself at home and you don't have that stuff, totally fine too. That would probably be me. Just like make it super simple. If I
Yeah.
had like whipped cream on top of something, I feel fancy. So
Yeah, or like if I was having Team 5 over for a dinner party or something like that. Yeah.
perfect.
Team 5, if you want to come over for a dinner party, let me know. I'll
Yes.
cook.
All of the anima drinks that you could ask for. We
Yeah.
got you. All right. Well, let's look at that alcoholic one now and take a look at what differs there.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's hop into it.
This one, however,
Oh yeah, we gotta do the tasting.
Oh, yeah. Very important.
Yeah. You can see how much foam by how far I had to tip it back.
it's beautiful. Frothy, sour, sweet, all the wonderful flavors, and it just incredibly like light and airy.
Yeah, it's super
I could live
refreshing.
on this.
Super refreshing. It's a really good
With
like
the
late fall.
mocktail version out of the way.
It's a really good like late summer, early fall drink, while cherries are kind of like leaving season and citrus is coming into season. So
Ooh,
it works.
Yes.
All right, so let's cocktail this up.
Okay, let's get on to the cocktail version. That one we're going to start with, of course, the other half of our lime.
Again, I'm squeezing that with my hand.
Yeah,
'cause that's all
of
I
course.
got.
We're going to use only half an ounce of simple syrup.
So we're cutting back a little bit on the sweetness that we're
Oh,
adding.
no, sorry, a whole ounce of simple syrup.
Or no, yeah, I just messed that up again. We're doing the same amount of simple. We're cutting back a little on the sour.
Come on. And then we're going to do 1.5 ounces of the cherry juice.
I think in the previous one there was 2 ounces of the cherry juice, so
Yep.
only 1.5 this time.
Yeah.
And then we have maraschino liqueur, which we're going to do half an ounce of.
This is where that other half ounce is going. And
So it's
maraschino
still the same
liqueur,
amount of liquid?
pretty much, yeah.
Some overproof Jamaican rum. I'm using Smith & Cross. Any Jamaican rum, any rum that has a flavor to it is good. And I've got about 1.5 ounces left in this bottle, which is just what I need. Perfect.
So this is ending up as a rum is the base spirit here. I went with rum because I happen to really like the Smith & Cross Jamaican style. It's a pot still rum, has a lot of really nice kind of vanilla and a little bit of cherry flavor in it. As I said in the video, any rum that has a nice flavor, I would recommend is probably going to be fine. I would recommend avoiding like a black rum or like a black strap molasses rum because it's going to overpower the light citrus notes. I would also recommend I wouldn't use like a silver, like a Bacardi silver or something like that, just because it's not going to have the complexity. It won't really add as much to the drink. But as we've said before, use what you have around. Use what you like. Yeah.
And then I'm going to add 2 dashes of cherry bitters.
Totally optional. If you have it, use it. If you don't stress.
Let me grab the egg. The same egg white or the same amount, just the white. And we'll give it a dry shake. There we go. And then the ice. 1 big cube. 1 cracked cube.
You can also crack ice in a bag on your counter, but definitely don't crack it on top of
go.
a glass stovetop or something like that. That would be incredibly bad.
And we'll add our cocktail.
Whoops.
It's the Denathrius froth, you gotta get it. You gotta get it everywhere.
And we'll give it a shake.
A little bit of overkill.
Yep. Sounds like Denathrius.
Yeah. Brand's got a better beard than I do, though.
There we go. Come on. All right.
So,
well, this is loud.
Yeah, if these get stuck, you can just kind of knock them on something, and it should break the seal.
Strain it.
It creates the chilling effect creates a vacuum inside there that keeps them sealed together, which is why you need to hold it really tight when it's dry shake. It's less of an issue when you're chilling it down because it literally sucks down and sticks together. So I'm going a little more of the base beverage here before I add the cocktail because the alcohol
top it up with soda.
is going to have a lightening effect similar to the soda water. And I didn't bother to
And there we
garnish
go,
this.
an
but-
alcoholic Anima. Let's give this one a taste. To Sire Denathrius. It's like this one, but more complex. The cherry liqueur adds a really nice, like bright kind of cherry candy flavor. And then the rum has a nice dry vanilla kind of oaky flavor. It's delicious. Wow, that's really lovely. Really fresh. I mean, it's good for summer. And, you know, it's a wonderful party drink.
Oh, okay. I do have another question real quick. Can you talk
Absolutely.
about the soda water? That's what you used, right?
Yeah, so I happen to have a Soda Stream, no endorsement. It's just the brand I happen to have. It's just carbonated tap water, or I use filtered water because my tap water doesn't taste good, which is something that has come up other times I've been talking to people about cooking stuff. So I just fill those bottles with filtered water and then carbonate them. If you go to the store and get club soda.
Okay.
Sparkling mineral water would also be fine. I would say don't do tonic though, because tonic has quinine, which is kind of a bittering agent, which is a flavor that some people like, but I do not think it would go well in these drinks. You're mostly adding the soda water to make it fizzy and like perk up that foam. In the case of the cocktail version, it also lengthens the drink. If you didn't add the soda water to that, it would feel really boozy and really like drying on the tongue because of the sour cherry juice.
Oh.
Yeah. Like if you've ever had like a glass of wine or something and your tongue just feels really dry at the end, that's described as like the word is astringent. It just kind of like dries out your tongue. So and alcohol does that anyway. Cherries do that anyway. So alcohol plus cherries is going to make it worse. So adding the soda water as well as like the simple syrup to make it sweet kind of mellows that out and makes it a less aggressive beverage. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that. I can't wait to try these. I'm going to
Yeah, definitely. Let me know how they go.
Yes.
I say this all the time. I always, like, anytime somebody asks me cooking advice, like, I always want to know how it goes. Because the only way I know if my cooking, it's the only way I know if my advice is good.
Right? And we hope that you try these as well.
Please
One
do,
of
yes.
them, both of them, either way, totally fine. If you do, let us know down in the comments below how it ends up going for you. Did you try like alternate suggestions like Wash was talking about with maybe some of those flavors? Or did you make it exactly the same? Did you try it in like a Tupperware? Like I'm probably because I don't have a shaker.
Yeah, let me see. That's the thing I'm most curious about. Like, it's one that like I've kind of done it before, but like never to shake a cocktail. So like I've done it to shake like salad dressing. So everything I know tells me it will work. Maybe it won't. Let me know.
Absolutely. Yeah. That sounds like Hearthstone too, you know.
Right? Yeah. And if there are other cards or like Hearthstone things that you want us to turn into dinner, drinks, whatever, let us know in the comments as well. We can come up with as many ideas as we can, but we always want to know what you all want to see from us.
Yes, absolutely. We do have a few more ideas, but you know, of course, we love hearing from other people, and we want to know that this is something that is cool and that people enjoy. So definitely let us know. Give that thumbs up so that we can really see that people are enjoying it and that other people get to see it as well. The more of that we get. So we do hope that you enjoyed this, and thank you, Wash, so much for doing the work.
Yeah, thank you so much. This was a wonderful idea, and I'm so glad that we were able to do some collaborating on this.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you all for checking this out, and we will see you in the next one.